Hi, I'm Lily. I'm 23 years old, and up until 6 months ago, I thought my family was just normal. You know, the usual dynamics. Mom had her moods. My younger sister Sarah got away with more than I ever did. But I figured that's just how families work. I was wrong. It was a Tuesday night when everything changed. I'd been feeling off all day, nauseous, feverish, this sharp pain in my side that kept getting worse. I was lying on the couch, trying not to move, when Sarah came home from her yoga class. Mom, I have the worst headache, Sarah announced, dropping her gym bag in the middle of the living room. Like, seriously the worst. I think I need to go to the hospital. Mom rushed over from the kitchen. Oh, sweetie, come sit down. Let me get you some water. I tried to sit up. Mom, I think something's really wrong with me. This pain. Not now, Lily, Mom said without looking at me. Sarah needs attention. But Mom, I've been sick all day. I think I need... You're always complaining about something, Sarah said, scrolling through her phone. God, this headache is killing me. Mom pulled out her phone. I'm calling an ambulance for you, honey. An ambulance? I managed to say. For a headache? Mom, I actually think... Sarah's headaches are serious, Lily. You wouldn't understand. I watched Mom dial 911, my vision starting to blur. The pain was getting unbearable. Yes, hello? I need an ambulance at 847 Maple Street. My daughter is experiencing severe head pain, possible migraine or worse. I tried to speak, but my mouth felt dry. The room was spinning. When the paramedics arrived 10 minutes later, I heard them at the door. We're here for a medical emergency? Yes, my daughter Sarah. She's having terrible head pain, Mom said. Ma'am, the dispatcher mentioned there were 2 people who needed assistance. No, Mom said quickly. My other daughter already left for the hospital with a friend. Sarah's the emergency. I tried to shout, to call out, but I could barely move. I heard Sarah talking to the paramedics, describing her headache. Then they were gone. I must have passed out, because the next thing I remember, Mrs. Chen from next door was shaking me. Lily? Lily! Oh my God, you're burning up! Mrs. Chen? I whispered. I came over to borrow sugar and saw you through the window. Your mother said everyone left, but you're clearly... Honey, can you sit up? Hurts. Mrs. Chen pulled out her phone immediately. I'm calling 911. Don't you move. This time, the ambulance came for me. Mrs. Chen rode with me, holding my hand as I drifted in and out of consciousness. The last thing I heard before they put me under for emergency surgery was the doctor saying, appendicitis. Another hour and it would have ruptured. I woke up in the hospital 2 days later. Mrs. Chen was there, reading a magazine. You're awake, she said, setting it aside. How are you feeling? Like someone kicked me in the stomach, I said. What happened? Appendicitis. They had to remove it. Lily, honey, we need to talk about what your mother did. She didn't know? She lied to the paramedics, Mrs. Chen said firmly. I heard the whole thing when I showed up. She told them you'd already left. Before I could respond, a nurse came in. Jennifer, according to her name tag. Oh, good, you're awake. How's the pain level? Manageable, I said. Jennifer checked my vitals, then hesitated. I probably shouldn't say this, but I was on duty when you came in the first time, when the ambulance came to your house. I was in the truck. You were. Your mother told us the emergency was your sister's headache. We evaluated her. Mild tension headache, nothing serious. We asked about you specifically because dispatch had noted a second person, and she insisted you'd already gone. When we got the second call an hour later, she shook her head. Your appendix was minutes from rupturing. That delay could have killed you. Mrs. Chen leaned forward. Jennifer, would you be willing to write down what you saw? I've already filed a report with my supervisor, Jennifer said. This kind of thing, denying someone medical care, it's not something we take lightly. Over the next few days, more people came to visit. My best friend Rachel burst into tears when she saw me. I can't believe your mom did this, Rachel said. Like, actually can't believe it. She probably just panicked. Stop defending her, Rachel interrupted. Lily, you almost died. She chose Sarah's headache over your life. My coworker David visited the next day, bringing flowers. So your sister really had just a headache? Apparently. And your mom knew you were sick? I told her all day. David sat down heavily. Man, that's messed up. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. You need to do something, Mrs. Chen said, coming back with coffee. This can't just be forgotten. What can I even do? Rachel pulled out her phone. I actually looked into this. What your mom did. It's called medical neglect. In some cases, it can be criminal. Criminal? I repeated. She deliberately prevented you from getting emergency care, David added. That's serious. Mrs. Chen nodded. I've been talking to my son. He's a lawyer. He says you have a case. A case for what? For holding her accountable, Rachel said. You could have died, Lily. She needs to face consequences. I stared at them all. You really think I should take legal action against my own mother? Yes, they said in unison. Jennifer poked her head back in. Sorry to interrupt, but there's a social worker here who wants to speak with you about what happened. And your mother is in the waiting room asking to see you. My chest tightened. Tell her I'm not ready. You sure? Very sure. After Jennifer left, Mrs. Chen squeezed my hand. We're here for you, whatever you decide. But you deserve justice. Sarah hasn't even visited, I said quietly. Not once. Rachel's face hardened. Because she knows what Mom did was wrong. They both do. I spent another week in the hospital. When I was finally discharged, Mrs. Chen offered to let me stay with her. You shouldn't go back there yet. I need to face them eventually. Not until you're stronger. But I couldn't hide forever. 2 weeks later, I went home to get my things. Mom was in the kitchen with Sarah. Lily, oh thank God you're... Don't, I said coldly. Don't you dare. Mom's face crumpled. Sweetie, I was so worried. You told the paramedics I'd already left. The kitchen went silent. Sarah stared at her phone, refusing to look up. I was confused, Mom stammered. You thought Sarah's headache was more important than my appendicitis, I said. You knew I was sick. I told you all day. I didn't know it was that serious. Because you didn't care enough to check. My voice rose. You heard headache from your favorite daughter and decided that was the emergency. Sarah finally spoke. It really hurt, Lily. Oh, it hurt. You had a tension headache. I had an organ about to rupture. You're always dramatic about being sick, Sarah said defensively. I almost died. Mom stepped forward, tears streaming. I'm sorry, okay? I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. A mistake? I backed away. You deliberately lied to emergency responders. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. Please, Lily. You're my daughter. I love you. No, you don't. You love Sarah. You've always loved Sarah more. That's not true. Then why am I the one who almost died because you couldn't spare 5 minutes to check on me? I was shaking now. Why did Sarah's headache, a headache that went away with Tylenol, matter more than my life? Sarah stood up. You're being ridiculous. Mom wouldn't what? Let me die? Because that's what almost happened. Mom reached for me. Let me make this right. I'll do anything. You can't make this right, I said, pulling away. You can't undo what you did. The doctors said another hour and I would have had a ruptured appendix, sepsis, possibly death. You delayed my care by over an hour because you lied. I panicked. You chose. Lily, please. I've talked to a lawyer, Mom. What you did has legal consequences. Her face went pale. You wouldn't. Watch me. You endangered my life. You committed medical neglect. You're going to sue your own mother? Sarah's voice was shrill. Over a misunderstanding? This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was favoritism that almost killed me. Mom grabbed my arm. You can't do this. I'm your mother. I yanked free. You stopped being my mother the second you told those paramedics I wasn't there. We can work this out as a family. We're not a family. You're just two people who share my DNA. Mom's tears turned to anger. After everything I've done for you, you ungrateful— Done for me? Name one thing you've done for me that you didn't do better for Sarah. She couldn't. The silence stretched. Sarah jumped in. This is going to destroy our family. You destroyed it yourself, I said. Both of you. Mom's face twisted. If you do this, you're out of this family for good. Do you hear me? For good. I was already out, I said quietly. I just didn't know it until you proved it. I grabbed my suitcase and walked toward the door. Lily! Mom shouted. Don't you dare walk out that door. If you leave now, don't ever come back. I paused, looking back at them one last time. That's the first thing you've said that I completely agree with. I walked out and didn't look back. The legal process moved faster than I expected. Mrs. Chen's son, James, took my case immediately. What your mother did falls under reckless endangerment, James explained in his office. She deliberately denied you access to emergency medical care. Can we really prove that? We have the paramedics' testimony, the 911 recording, Mrs. Chen's witness statement, and your medical records showing the severity. It's solid. The preliminary hearing was 3 months later. Mom showed up with her own lawyer, Sarah, by her side. When I walked in with James, Rachel, and Mrs. Chen, Mom's face hardened. The prosecutor laid out the case clearly. The defendant was informed multiple times that her daughter Lily was experiencing severe abdominal pain. When emergency services arrived, she deliberately misrepresented the situation, stating that Lily had already left, which was false. This delayed critical medical care. Jennifer testified first. The patient was in critical condition when we finally transported her. The delay caused by the initial misdirection put her life at risk. Mrs. Chen testified next. I heard Linda explicitly tell the paramedics that Lily had already gone to the hospital. Lily was unconscious on the couch the entire time. Mom's lawyer tried to argue it was a simple misunderstanding, a mother's panic, but the 911 recording was damning. My other daughter already left for the hospital with a friend. Mom's voice played through the courtroom speakers. Sarah's the emergency. When it was Mom's turn to speak, she looked at me with pleading eyes. Your Honor, I love both my daughters equally. I never meant— You told emergency responders your daughter had already left when she was unconscious in your home. The judge interrupted. That's not love, that's neglect. The verdict came quickly. Guilty of reckless endangerment and child endangerment. Mom was sentenced to community service, probation, and mandatory parenting classes. More importantly, a restraining order was put in place. Outside the courthouse, Mom tried one last time. She broke past the barriers, grabbing my shoulders. Lily, please, I'm sorry. I've apologized 100 times. Can't we move past this? I removed her hands. No, we can't. I'm your mother. You were my mother. Now you're just someone who almost let me die. I made a mistake. One mistake. That mistake could have killed me, and you've never once actually acknowledged that. Every apology has been about you wanting forgiveness, not about you understanding what you did. Sarah pushed forward. She's suffered enough. Isn't this revenge enough for you? I turned to her. This isn't revenge. This is consequences. There's a difference. Please, Mom sobbed. Don't do this. We can be a family again. No, I said firmly. We can't. You made sure of that when you chose Sarah's headache over my life. That choice showed me exactly where I stand, and I'm done pretending it didn't. Lily, I hope you understand someday what you did, I said. But I won't be around to see it. Goodbye, Mom. I walked away with James, Rachel, and Mrs. Chen. Behind me, I could hear Mom crying, Sarah comforting her. But I didn't look back. A year later, I'm doing better than ever. I got my own apartment, started therapy, and built a real family with people who actually value me. Mrs. Chen has become like a real mother to me. Rachel and David are constants in my life, and I've never once regretted holding Mom accountable. Some people say I was too harsh, that mothers make mistakes. But there's a difference between a mistake and a choice. She chose. And I chose not to accept being the daughter who didn't matter. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had to stand up to family who treated you as less than? How did you handle it? Drop your stories in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more true stories about standing up for yourself. and refusing to accept toxic family dynamics.